Hi everybody, this is Sharia Shahid and you're watching All of Your Business. In All of Your Business, we talk about your favorite topics about economy and the latest happenings that are occurring across the globe related to economy. Let's speak to our guest, Mr. Mehtab Haider. Assalamu alaikum, sir.
Alaikum
How
salam.
are you, sir?
I'm fine.
Sir, my first question to you is this, that US-Iran war is not coming to an end. And we all know that the peace talks round 2 have not happened. And let me tell you, sir, that the fuel prices, the oil prices have increased by 2% in the world. Sir, having said that, what is the future, or how do you see that the fuel prices, they're going to trend across the globe and in Pakistan?
Bismillah Rahman Rahim. Thank you very much for having me. Actually, this energy infrastructure was severely hit during this war. And because of hitting severely, this infrastructure had been damaged. So, because of prevailing of uncertainty, because of blockade of Strait of Hormuz, the oil prices are not coming down.
Right.
And it's going up and up. So it's posing serious challenge for all those countries who are fuel import dependent. So it's the first impact of the war we have seen, and we have seen that it caused an inflationary pressures in Pakistan, and we have seen that the policy rate was tightened. Now its second and third impact was still reviewing by the government of Pakistan, because there would be certain impact on the growth of the economy, on the trade of the economy, on overall remittances, as well as on overall fiscal framework. So it is yet to see that how much this war is going to impact Pakistan, especially on account of its external account as well as on the internal account or the fiscal framework of the country. We have seen that all the macroeconomic numbers are in revision, because earlier the projections were on much better side, but now the State Bank of Pakistan has mentioned in its monetary policy that they are now predicting the lower bandwidth of all the macroeconomic indicators.
Right. So do you see the fuel prices increasing in Pakistan in the near future?
If the oil prices persist on higher side, there is no option available to the government of Pakistan in, to not to pass on that burden to the consumers. Right. Only the government can do is to provide a targeted subsidy for the, especially for the two-wheelers or three-wheelers, because we are under the IMF program and there is no other option available to the government, that we cannot afford doling out of massive kind of subsidies. So if this oil prices persists on higher side, then it will definitely be increased in Pakistan.
Right. Sir, Pakistan is all set to launch $250 million Panda Bond in May. Sir, how good is this for Pakistan?
We have seen that the government is trying to launch this Panda Bond from last couple of months period, but now the stage is set because Asian Development Bank and Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank has provided a guarantee to the government of Pakistan for launching of this bond last week. And now the stage is set, and Finance Minister revealed that now government of Pakistan is planning to launch this bond by mid of May, in order to first prescription of $250 million. Then its second and third and fourth prescription will also be launched, and Pakistan intends to generate around $1 billion through Panda Bond, but it will be done in phases. And in the first phase, they are going to launch $250 million equivalent in RMB.
So does that mean that it is going to attract the foreign investments too?
Because it will attract the Chinese investment in Pakistan, and they have shown a great appetite for launching of this Panda Bond or Pakistani paper in their market, because Minister for Finance held a meeting with the Chinese counterparts and the Chinese banks during his stay in Washington when he was attending the annual meeting of the World Bank and IMF in Washington, D.C. So the market is set and there is a lot of appetite for launching of this Pakistani paper.
So, having said that, central bank has increased the policy rate by 100 bps to 11.5%. So, what does this mean in very easy language for our audiences, and what would be its implications?
Actually, this is the result of the ongoing war in the Gulf region because Pakistan's economy possessed a lot of pressures because of oil import dependence, because we have seen that oil prices has gone up, and because of oil and commodities prices surge, we have seen that the SPI has touched 14% mark on weekly basis. It's unprecedented in recent peaks. So we have seen that, keeping in view the higher inflationary pressures, and because we are under the IMF program, the State Bank of Pakistan and its Monetary Policy Committee preferred to keep the policy rate on higher side, and they decided to raise it by 100 basis points. After that, it was jacked up from 10.5% to 11.5%. So it shows that the tightening of monetary policy has been adopted in order to, to curtail the demand. So demand side will be curtailed, so it will have certain effects on the overall growth trajectory of the country, because Pakistan has projected a growth of 4 and 4.2% for this ongoing financial year, but the State Bank has predicted that now they are going to take it or review it in the lower band of around 3 and 3.5%. So this all these numbers have been revised, and they have predicted that inflation is going to persist for the next 6 months period.
Right, right. So, NEPRA approval has been made mandatory for new power plants. Earlier, we have seen that the solar consumers are going to have the NEPRA license. So, what does this mean for the power plants owners, and how it is going to be helpful?
Actually, without licensing, because Pakistan has a surplus electricity at the moment. We have installed capacity of 42,000 megawatt, but that is causing a problem because it resulted into increasing the capacity repayments. So now the NEPRA's licensing has been made mandatory before installing any power plant in Pakistan, and I think it's step in the right direction.
Right. So, government may drop 90% of new development projects in the next budget. So, what does this mean? What development projects are we talking about? And if they are thinking to drop, what is the reason behind it?
Actually, I think uh, the government of Pakistan has decided in consultation with the IMF that only 10% new projects will be incorporated in the public sector development program. For instance, Planning Commission for the upcoming budget have sought more than rupees 3 trillion for the allocation of the for the development budget. But in the ongoing financial year, we have already witnessed that the earlier there were projections of 1 trillion rupees allocation, including the government resources as well as the resources generated by the NHA or WAPDA from their own resources, that they have allocated the PSDP around 1 trillion rupees, but it was slashed around 172 billion rupees, keeping in view this Gulf war, because certain 172 billion rupees were diverted to the austerity fund established by the Prime Minister of Pakistan. So it is very hard to predict that in the next financial year, the government is going to allocate major resources for the public sector development program, because next budget we are going to prepare under the circumstances when the clouds of war still persist on the horizon of the Gulf region, and it's going to impact Pakistan's economy as well. So, upcoming budget will be prepared keeping in view the war and its prevalence for the next few months period. And with this mindset, the government is going to prioritize the next budget allocations. And it is not possible, keeping in view the IMF program, that we are going to allocate as demanded by the Planning Commission up to the 3 trillion rupees. And under the IMF program, we have already agreed with the IMF that only 10% new projects will be allocated in the PSDP, and 90% resources will be utilized for the ongoing projects only. So that clarifies the whole situation under which the budget preparation is underway.
Right. Thank you so much, sir.
Always welcome.
That was all for today. If you want us to talk more about the development projects, if you want us to talk about the uncertainty revolving around fuel prices across the globe and in Pakistan, do let us know in the comments. Till then, keep watching All of Your Business. This is Shahryar signing out.